All right, here we go. Game day on the Real Kyper and Bourne Show. Nick Kypreos, Tristan Bourne, Sammy McKee, Jake the Snake Schultz, Derek Brandale. Leaf Hour edition of our program. We're live on Sportsnet 360, Sportsnet 590, The Fan in Toronto, and streaming always on Sportsnet Plus. Also available at your convenience, Spotify, Apple Podcast, and YouTube. All right, boys. Did a lot of dissecting yesterday, but it is game day. Toronto Maple Leafs, Chicago Blackhawks. So let me get this straight. The leaders got called out.
Did they?
Yeah.
Okay.
By Craig Berube.
Yeah. Okay.
The other day.
Yep.
Soft
Carry
call,
on.
yeah.
Carry on.
Connor Bedard out for Chicago.
Yep.
Their second overall pick is a defenseman, Lushenov.
Levshinov.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Healthy scratch because he showed up to the rink the other day late.
Mm-hmm.
Traffic's brutal these days. Benajad late or missed a meeting. This is traffic.
Should I go on? Joe Bowen night.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
Big night for
Bless
one of
you,
the
boys.
best Holy Mackinac play-by-play men.
Joseph Woll is back.
Joseph Woll is back. Automatic 2 points tonight.
W.
Oh my.
It's free W night.
Yes.
Holy Mackinac. Just come pick
Right?
it up at the rink.
Sammy.
Be ready and hot and ready.
Sammy, we were a little negative yesterday,
Don't look at me.
Free dub, kid.
but come on. We're starting the show with an automatic 2 points.
Yeah, I mean, it better be. Listen, I don't want to be. You guys are great, positive moods today. I love it. We're getting close to Christmas. The Christmas cheers coming in here in a giving mood, giving them 2 points tonight. But
At home.
I think, before we get into the actual analysis of this, it will be cool for Bonesy tonight to be honored. 44 years is a really long time. I saw the video of the Toronto Maple Leafs in the locker room. They gave him the framed jersey with with the first game sheet. Gave him a
Golden
gold
mic.
microphone. Trip to Notre Dame. Against Wisconsin. So very cool for him. So that's gonna be cool. But yeah, I think if they should win tonight, but I think you need to see a certain something from the quote unquote leaders that were called out by the coach to make sure that they're still locked into this coach. I know I don't want to be too serious here, but he called them out. You're playing a crappy team. You're at home. If they don't come out there and look great, I would be concerned.
Do you want to
Is that
comment
fair,
before we
or
go
is
to
that
Craig?
too much?
I don't know. That went in a lot of directions. We did Bonesy there.
Yeah,
we did
I
the
started with
whole
Bonesy, but then I went into
tour
something
about
else.
the league and now onto the coach. Let's go to the coach and then let's reattack.
Craig Berube on the kind of response he's hoping from his leaders.
Clip 6.
What sort of response are you expecting from your top guys after the win?
Oh, I think a good one. I do. I think that conversations that I've had with them and last couple days, they know where we're at. They know they got to be better, and I believe they will be.
So
All right, so
I should have looked at the group chat.
Sorry.
I don't know how our show is 5 years old now.
Mm-hmm.
By far the most critical we've ever been, at least for me anyways, with Austin Matthews was yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
For me anyways. I don't know. You tell me.
Sure about that?
No, what else have I said about it? What?
We've been doing it for 5 years.
Well,
We've
what?
all said a lot of things. I can't go back in
The
time.
other thing that came close to yesterday for him not showing up when he was requested for a post-game comments was, he's not a great passer. He's not a great playmaker.
Mm-hmm.
But that's probably it. I'm very complimentary as a goal scorer.
I would agree that yesterday was collectively the hardest we've been on them.
Okay.
Sure.
This is where I want to get to.
Yeah.
For the point of the argument,
And,
I'll say yes.
if you scrolled 30 seconds on the internet, we weren't the only ones.
No.
So by far, I think since he's been drafted first overall, going back to the mid, 14, 15, when was he first pick
I
overall?
think his first year was 16 in the league.
Okay,
16, 17 was his first year.
whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think he's ever felt that type of scrutiny ever before.
Mm-hmm.
So
I wonder how much of it he's hearing and feeling.
that's a really good question because I was not in the internet era when I played for the Toronto Maple Leafs, and I felt it
Yeah.
when you went to the supermarket or go pump gas for 5 minutes and a few people recognize you and you walk around. Like, you just knew. You just could pick up the vibe.
Yeah.
But I don't know today whether or not players can avoid it or not, or it's just
I don't think so.
it's there.
And I think like the type of questions he's getting asked post game are more like, "Hey, man, what's going on?
What's up, dude?
You know, like anything to say on kind of what's been going on?"
Even if he absorbed 20% of it,
Yeah,
30% of
would
it, not
be
100% of it,
a pile.
it would still be a pile to come out with a little bit of urgency tonight.
And so, in the history of these Leafs, when they've been down and out, that's when they play their best, right? And so I'm curious if with Matthews, for the first time, people are writing him off. People are I wonder if tonight we get a night. We get a night where he shoots 2 in. You know, I don't know what the rest of the game will look like, but I think tonight would be not the worst night to go to our little betting segment and see what Austin has in store. And if he doesn't, if under all this scrutiny against the Blackhawks at home without the opposing best center, he with the best player on his line, Nylander, if he can't muster an effort tonight, I think the alarms are they're going off.
Yeah, but what alarms are being pulled?
To me, is this physical?
Yeah.
Like if you're the
Is it
team, it's
physically
like,
possible?
do you need time away here? Do we need to sort out what's going on?
Mhm.
And if it's not physical, and he's like, no, I feel great, then what?
Like, I think there's
A
been
new shrink.
Yeah,
Well, there's-
they like maybe.
there's been a lot of conversation about Berube early in this season and about the hot seat stuff, and it was really warm there for a while where we were, I think everybody was having the conversations during that November stretch. And then would they lose 5 in a row, 6 in a row they
Yeah,
lost?
Yeah, 5 or 6.
Like, if you go out and publicly call out the Stars and they come back tonight against, like you said, a Bedardless, not a very good hockey team, and you don't get the response that you're looking for, I think that would be one of the alarms as well.
Totally.
Where it's like they're not
About Berube.
they're not
responding
listening to it, they're not responding to it, they don't care what he says, they're not really challenged by him. That would be a concern.
Presumably, Willie's feeling better. He's coming off
Yeah.
his illness.
Yeah. I get the goals. Goals would be nice for sure, but just a different look.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Where we've seen him in the past where he'd be back checking and absolutely just steal
Like a
pucks.
pocket, yeah.
Pickpockets 2 or 3 times, 4 times a game was a norm for him.
Yeah.
That got people saying, Selke kind of type of guy, shutdown guy, as well as
His defensive stats this year are not good.
that's another part of the game too, right?
Yeah.
That has completely disappeared on him.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think it's the look, the energy, the enthusiasm, the body language, all of it. And it's Chicago, guys. Please, it's Chicago. So it will just buy you time until Thursday night against Washington. And that's a good thing. It's
Well,
a
the
start.
thing is,
It's just a start.
It's also, you're not going to do this 50 times from
No.
now to the end of the
No.
season. It's
But you need
guys
it.
have off nights. Great players have off nights.
But you need it like tonight.
You need to
it.
know it's in there. You need to know it's certainly an option. The Blackhawks, by the way, same amount of points as the Leafs. Sorry, 1 fewer. So
Yeah.
they're not exactly, runaway favorites tonight.
Yeah.
Okay. Joseph Woll. Back tonight.
Mm-hmm. Too
Whatever.
soon for your liking? You're okay with this?
Well, Saturday would have been the 7 days.
Yeah.
So he's 9 now, right? Listen, if he just had a slight tweak, I'm concerned. Yeah, I'm concerned. I'll be concerned for the rest of the season for him. But I think the most important thing now is that Hildeby has come in and shown a side of him that suggests that he isn't overwhelmed and that perhaps he can play a little bit back up here in the National Hockey League. And instead of now looking forward to Joseph Woll needing to play 3 out of 4 games, maybe it's 2 out of 3.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
The Hilda Beast.
Why don't we listen to the coach talk about Joseph Woll in clip 1?
Woll back in tonight, or how's
Yeah,
that?
yeah, he's good to go. So it's great to have him back, and obviously he was playing extremely well before the injury.
He goes back. He's back.
That's it. He's playing extremely well. So we also have him on the workload, which we're talking about here.
He got asked, like basically the way Hildeby looked, does that kind of give you more confidence to go more of a back, what's the word I'm looking for, rotation?
Mm-hmm.
So if we can clip 2.
Yeah, oh, definitely. I mean, we all know overloading them is tough a little bit at times, and depending on the goalie. So it's nice that Dennis came in and played well and's got confidence in him. So, we have we got confidence in both goalies. We can rotate them a little more.
Joseph Woll, a .928 save percentage so far this year in 8 starts. Like, that's not a small sample.
Yeah.
Hildebeest is a .923 in 11 starts.
Tonight has to be
And they're second last.
Yeah.
Tonight has to be the start of a little bit of a heater here for the Leafs.
Think so?
Yeah, and I don't know
Ordering
whether
one up?
I don't know how you guys feel about Thursday, where Washington's played well, but 4 points between now and the end of Thursday night would once again go a long way. It would,
Yeah,
boys.
I mean,
it would bring Sammy back
But like
halfway.
they went 5-1-1. They went 5-1-1, and then they tied the Sharks and lost a game. Like this, it's not like they're mired in the thick of some terrible stretch here. It's just teams are getting points. You got to get points.
Yeah, and last night again, Florida finds a way, right, against Tampa Bay, and Ottawa squeaks out 2 points.
Ottawa gets their 2
Right?
big 2 points.
Huge 2 points. So again, we've seen this where sometimes you go, okay, this team's only 3 or 4 points out of the playoff spot, but if teams above them are taking 3-point games and
1 point from last.
finding ways to stay above them, then there's still many nights when you need a handful of teams to lose all at the same time, and that just doesn't happen.
God, this is just Bettman's dream. Look at that mess.
Can I ask you about, we're having all these conversations about the Leafs, like, if they could get these points. Like, is this what Sabres radio is like for the last 14 years?
Well,
If they could just catch fire here the next little while, they'd be right back in it.
They just fired their head coach and their GM, and the new GM said today, I think we can make playoffs this year. They're in last.
I'm looking at this and we're just talking it out like, wow, if they could win 4 in a row, or if they could get.
You sure about that?
No, we're not.
I'm not sure they could do it, boys.
We're
Yesterday, you both said they weren't going to make playoffs, Sam, and nothing's changed.
No.
For the record, I did.
If butts and candy and nuts,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Come on. Let's be honest here. That's our show. Thanks for joining us, everybody.
Yeah.
Ifs, butts, candy, and nuts. Have a great night. Thanks for joining us.
Kids need a lot to go right. All right. Also, we do have an update on the other goalie, Anthony Stolarz.
Okay, who's that?
Yeah, he
Trying to remember
he was
him.
the old Florida guy. He came here. He's like really tall and bad knees, good goalie. Let's listen to the update on Anthony Stolarz.
Still no word on Anthony Stolarz.
No, he is going to go and see somebody, and hopefully we get some good news out of it, and he can help him a little bit because he's not making the progress that we thought he'd make.
Like Berube's
Hold on.
laughing.
Did you? Yeah.
It's not. 100% not.
Concussion. He
Luke Fox
commented.
followed up and asked him, is
Yeah.
it a concussion? And he said it's not.
Yeah,
It's
he
100% not.
He couldn't do it without giggling.
He's
laughing.
even laughing at the absurdity of this. It could be a witch doctor. He's going to see a shaman in.
He's
He
on his
couldn't keep a straight face.
he's on his way to I don't know.
Hi, everybody.
Tibet. He's on his way to Tibet. Like
Could be.
Okay. I know we've done this 1,000 times.
I know. He thinks
but
it's
we're
funny.
going to do it 1,001.
Yeah.
Just give the fans something else, something. Give them a little bit, and this goes back to, Matthews maybe coming out. They just want a little honesty to the point where you show a little humility. Come out and say, it didn't clear up like we first thought. Okay? I want to say the neck
They have said
area.
that.
Ish. But today, like recently, he said that, I don't know how long ago, but you gotta give him more. Something. And we're a little perplexed. We're trying to find answers. We're as frustrated as the fans. Something. Just come out and just work with some people here.
It's so funny you say this because Steve Dangle, who used to work at this network and well known to Leaf fans everywhere, he quote tweeted one of our videos from after Pelly had the press conference talking about the relationship with like the media and the fans, and there's this clip about how he want be more forthcoming with the media and with the fans or whatever. And it's just like my reaction to it is like, oh my God, that's going to be great. And it was hard to watch my reaction living in the world that we're living in now. It was like, oh my God, it's been the opposite, where feels like it's been less forthcoming and less like.
Perhaps he's getting platelet rich. Well, what did RJ Barrett get?
Oh, I don't know. The knee injections? I don't know.
PRP.
PRP. I couldn't remember the third word.
Watching the clip, I was like, oh my God, just got tricked like a big Dumbo. Immediately was going to believe it anyways. It was interesting. It was interesting.
We're all big Dumbos.
Yeah, and that's why Hildeby's a key guy right now for the Toronto Maple Leafs.
He is. I mean, they need to get above league average goaltending. Chris Tanev needs to come back fairly soon. They need Austin Matthews to find another gear. They're not making playoffs if things are the way they've been. They need things to not stay the same. They need things to get better. And so to your point, start with a win tonight, getting healthier, but
Rube got asked about adversity and like how can it be like a good thing? Another thing that a Sabres reporter would definitely ask the head coach of the Sabres.
14 years of it.
But let's play clip 5 from Berube on facing some adversity in this season.
You go through a lot of adversity throughout the season. It seems like it's been there for quite some time with different things, right? Injuries and whoever, goalies, and it was all types of things. So you just got to keep pushing here. The standings are tight. We all know that. But we need to start tonight and string some wins together and put ourselves in a better spot here by Christmas time.
By Christmas time.
Exactly.
It's December 16th.
Yeah,
not a lot of time till Christmas.
So
getting a lot of Kyper and Bourne on these hockey games coming up, by the way.
Oh yeah?
We got
Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday, the 21st, the 23rd, the 28th,
What do we have
the
on this
30th.
one? It's the Sunday.
We're
Yeah.
on like a whack of games coming up.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, let's talk hockey.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it should be fun.
I'll enjoy that from my couch. I'll enjoy that from my couch with maybe a Coors Light.
Yeah. Hey, man. That's
Potentially.
great. I appreciate the viewership.
What else you got for us, Sammy?
You want to talk
Henry
about you want to talk about Henry
Thrun?
Thrun? We could
The
talk about
Thunder.
that. Well, he's liked what he's done.
Thunder and Lightning?
Yes.
McMahon back in tonight. Yarncroc out. Robertson stays in on the second line. Any of those things interest you? McMahon playing with Tavares and Robertson. Domi going down to the third line. It just feels like they're just kind of.
I want to hear the Thunder.
Oh, okay. We can play the Thunder clip. Play the Thunder clip. Clip 4.
Pretty good. I mean,
Pretty good.
Playing in a third pair, but doing some good things, and we want to keep him going here. See if he can keep improving and see where we get to with him. He has ability. He has the ability to make plays. So we've liked him so far.
So, sorry, the Benoit with Riley, we think that's placeholder stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not.
I think because Tanev's not gonna.
But that just seems like where Thrun will be.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah. So
Did they didn't do any more follow-up on Tanev, right?
no.
Other than we get the sense that he can practice normal.
We're waiting to
with
see how
contact,
he responds to contact and practice.
which he's already had a couple good ones.
Well, no, yesterday
Can't
was
practice.
yesterday was his first one on the ice where he was not wearing a red jersey. So I guess they'll probably, I mean, what's tomorrow? They'll practice probably again tomorrow, and then a game day on Thursday, and then they'll maybe see from there. But
Yeah.
Kind of nervous for him.
I am too. I don't love it.
no, I at some point, I think you've mentioned this a million times. At some point, was the juice worth the squeeze? Like this is a guy that's been a Warrior forever. But you look at the standings and you look at where this Leafs team's at, and probably some of it's to do with his absence. Like, I mean, he was hugely important for them last year. Played big minutes, shut down minutes with McCabe. But like, this is a borderline last place team. You're coming back to risk. I mean, how old is he? 36?
Yeah, it's just
36.
It's
36.
crummy. Like, everyone played poorly. The team didn't gel early in the first 7-8 games. So there's this penchant for people to dismiss the loss of Tanev. You're like, well, they were doing well when he was in. It's like, okay, well, now that they're kind of trying to get things straightened out, they really miss a guy like that.
How many games did he play this year? 8? 9?
I don't know. It feels like more than that, but not a ton more.
mean-
but Jake McCabe has stepped up in his absence. Since being paired with Stetcher, he's been really good. He's actually third in the NHL in block shots this year, kind of stepping into Tanev's role in that regard.
Tanev played 8 games this year.
8 games,
He was
okay.
a +5 in those 8 games. So that's a guy they missed. But yeah, they didn't, even at the start of the year when they had their whole decor healthy, Carlo wasn't great to start the year. But since, the first 10 games, it really hasn't felt like they've had Henry Thrun, where on the depth chart was Henry Thrun? It's the fact that he's now played with this
Behind
be his third.
Rafai, Mermis, Myers, you're getting into double-digit depth.
They
with
have,
Thrun.
and they're played their third string goalie a lot of the time. You're hard on the team for having the struggles, but they really have. To speak to the adversity, they have lost a lot of guys.
Goal differential of 0 on the year, dead even.
In about
0.
After all this, yeah.
In about 15 minutes, we'll welcome in Ben Pope, who writes for the Chicago Blackhawks. Of course, through our good buddy, we had a couple of choices for hockey games this time of year. We went with San Jose, but we were close on picking Chicago.
Yeah.
And
We made the right choice.
come on, no Connor Bedard. That's great for the Leafs and their potential to get 2 points tonight. But from an entertainment point of view, we all lost out tonight.
This Hawks team is still, I understand they're rebuilding, but look at the lineup minus Connor Bedard. It's pretty stinky.
Yes.
You're getting a lot of Oliver Moore, Ryan Green, Nick Lardis, Colton Dock, Ethan Del Maestro. There's a lot of who?
Can I ask you? I watched that Habs game on the Saturday night against the Leafs, where it was their first game back from the road trip, and multiple people that were at that game said there was way more Habs fans than normal. My wife, Allie, was at the game against the Oilers on Saturday night, said there was 1 million Oilers fans. She felt like it was, almost as loud for the Oilers goals. And, Chicago's a classic franchise. They have a ton of fans. Are there more Leaf fans that are just like, yeah, whatever. Here, opposing fan bases, take my... Because just watching them on TV, it feels like there's a lot more of the opposing fans in the crowd than there are of the actual Leafs. It could be hyperbole, but I really do get the feeling that people are just like, yeah, sure, take it.
I do blame, even mid-December, a trickle effect of the Blue Jays.
Yeah.
No,
I do, yeah.
I'm
That there's
not
still-
going to blame the Blue Jays for the Leafs being
I'm
terrible.
not blaming them. I'm just saying it's taken longer for those Leaf fans that you think might be missing or there who are just not loud or willing to go put on a jersey just yet. A little bit of time.
I do think that Canadians, what do you call it, discretionary spending or whatever your fun money is,
Yeah.
they all spent their money going to Jays games.
Okay.
I do think, and this is not like a long-term thing I'm talking about,
Yeah.
but there was, I think, in every statistic for the NHL in Canada after the Jays run, people needed a break.
Yeah.
Things were down a little
Yeah.
bit. It's coming back now. But
And-
there was a moment there where everyone's like, okay,
And when
I'm
they
sported
started,
out.
Myself included.
Yeah.
and it hasn't helped that they dug themselves into the basement here pretty much and are trying to dig themselves out. That's not helping.
I'm just speaking from this is totally anecdotal, and I don't have any stats to back this up. But when other classic teams have come into Toronto, the ones that have a lot more fans, it just, sorry.
Change jersey?
No. 50-50 read.
Okay.
It just feels like there's a lot more of the opposing fan than there has been in years past.
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting at.
Maybe a string around your finger so you don't interrupt our show.
Are you kidding me? Church bells? Scarface? Scarface? What else you got over there? Like, give me a break. First time my phone has ever made a sound in the history of our show.
I love that you got
5 years.
Okay, fair
my
enough.
God.
Fair enough.
But I don't know. I wonder if there is a bit of apathy setting in with
Yes.
this team.
Well, tickets.
little bit.
Yeah, you can get tickets.
Yeah,
around
like-
game time, just a couple hours
Yes.
before you look for a ticket.
And it's been a long time with a very similar team. And at least in years past, there's been a disdain towards this core for a long time with the playoff failures. We all know the story. But now without the regular season success, to pair, like to even get your hopes full again,
Mhm.
I think there could be in a little bit of a danger
Yeah.
zone here in terms of people paying the money to go to the games. I really do.
We'll get into Connor Bedard and his injury with Ben Pope, but a lot of people talking about a separated shoulder.
You ever done that?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, same.
But I wouldn't rule out dislocation here
Mhm.
either. Have you had one of those
I haven't done a dislocation.
where you've
Sounds
I don't know what they
uncool.
call it, subluxation, where
Subluxation.
it partially pops out
You gotta pull it to put it back in.
and then it goes back in.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't come all the way out. And then what you need to do now is give it 2 or 3 weeks for this capsule inside of your shoulder to kind of settle and the soft tissue to kind of rebuild. And I think that's to me how I see this thing being played out, because they said early January, which
Yeah.
should give them 2 to 3 weeks for this thing to settle down. And if you can, then you avoid surgery.
I don't know if you saw my tweet about Bedard,
Bring it up.
but this is like, I felt like Hockey Canada don't want to take Bedard only because they don't see him as one of their 14 best, guys at winning this
Yeah, yeah.
competition.
Yeah.
But Bedard kept producing offense at a rate that was going to embarrass them. Like it's going to be like, you're not going to take the 4th leading scorer in the NHL.
Yeah, that's true. They weren't going to. I don't
You think
have
they
a-
weren't going to
I
take
don't
him?
think they ever were.
But this gives them the out, right? This gives them the out. They can point to this and be like, we didn't know if he was going to be
yeah.
available. He
No,
got hurt.
Doesn't hurt. Doesn't hurt
I
them.
think this gives them cover.
Yeah.
Now, when let's say they lose and they don't score enough goals, less people are going to be like, how could you not take him?
Who are their pure?
Hagel got hurt last night.
Who are their pure offensive stars? We know McDavid. We know Reinhart. We know Mitch
McKinnon.
Marner, McKinnon. If one of those guys was to get hurt and not make the team
Mhm.
or not play in the Olympics,
Yeah.
then you go and get a Bedard.
Mm.
But if it's a
Like to
depth,
replace
if
Hagel.
it's a depth
Braden
guy,
Point, Hagel.
you go to your depth list, and that's not Bedard.
And that's what a lot of Canadian hockey fans would fundamentally disagree with that philosophy of team building. And I'm not saying I do,
I know.
but a lot of people would be like, why don't you just take one extra guy that can shoot it in the net and be dangerous offensively?
It's funny because, you hear the people be like, we can't have 4 first lines. And then it's like, why? Why can't you do that? But I think,
Because then
Peop-
you're building an all-star team.
well,
That's
and
why.
you're not suited for certain situations, defensive play, penalty killing, protecting leads. But I think if you have 4 first lines, you're pretty good. But still, I made my team, and I did have Bedard in my 14 at the end. I don't think that they were going to take him. And now I think this is kind of icing on the cake for it.
Does suck for, if you're a diehard Chicago fan and the one trip a year you get to go watch your team.
And as a Canadian, you kind of love to see the big names.
Yeah.
He's a huge
Yeah,
name. He's
in
one of the
Tr- in
14
Toronto,
biggest names.
Yeah, it's like, and they just guys gets hurt the day before. Did you see the play that happened? How he got hurt?
Yes.
Off the face-off?
Yeah, you thought it was greasy.
No, I
off the
thought it
face-off
had a little grease to it.
with,
For sure. I
Shen?
I watched it
Yeah.
again. He's, you push an opponent.
think there's like
It's
0.2 seconds left in the clock.
You should hug him.
So
Should've just brought it down, I
Blashill
think.
said it had nothing to do with the shove or
Oh,
Luke Shen, did he?
so
Or,
on
I'm
the
sorry, Braden
face-off
Shen.
was the...
So I don't know. He torqued himself, and the shoulder popped out. I don't
Yeah.
know.
All I know is you've seen those guys in the dressing room who they start taping up the shoulder, and then the shoulders start coming out a little easier, like a strip screw in that socket, and it's you hope it's not, hope it's not a recurring thing. If some guys' shoulders just
Pop out. Oh, here we go.
so it's actually not the
Yeah, I think it was off.
there.
I think
like
when
right
he
there,
dropped
it's out
to a
now.
knee, his shoulder popped out.
Shit, I would not want to take a face off against that
It
guy.
certainly looked that way, anyways.
Yeah, it sure did. All right.
Before we go to break, boys.
Oh, your reminder.
Yeah. Sportsnet 590 The Fan is all in supporting 50-50 Fortune for sick kids. It's a 50-50, so the more money we raise, the more kids we can help, and the more holiday cash you can win. This is your last week to buy tickets as the final draw is on Thursday morning. The current take-home prize is over $491,000. Buy your tickets at 5050fortune.ca or text the word money to 59590 and we'll send the link right to your phone. 18 plus. Please play responsibly. Standard message and data rates may apply. Lottery license RAF 1518410.
Alrighty.
All right, let's take a quick break. And when we return, Ben Pope, who covers the Washington, I'm jumping already to Thursday. The Blackhawks tonight at Scotiabank Arena on Joe Bowen night. That and more when we return to Real Kyper and Bourne. Welcome back in studio. It's the Real Kyper and Bourne show. Leaf Hour edition. Nick Kypreos, Justin Bourne, Sammy McKee. Have we got Ben yet?
We are
Derek?
waiting.
Oh, we're waiting.
We're waiting. Okay.
Oh, he's talking.
Yes. You gonna ask some questions? Oh, never mind. I'll leave it.
All
to
right.
you.
Got the green light. Let's welcome in writer, columnist for the Chicago Sun-Times. Ben Pope does a terrific job covering the Blackhawks. Ben, how are you, my friend?
Oh, I'm good. A little bit cold. The wind's been getting me here today, but looking forward to the game tonight.
Yeah, we all are, minus one of the sharpest shooters in the game today, in Connor Bedard. Just the latest on what you have. We do obviously know it's a shoulder injury, but any more hints on what he may be dealing with or the questions that still need to be found out on how early he can return?
Well, no news to break, but as Blashill said yesterday, they're going to reevaluate him after the new year. And as of right now, surgery isn't considered required. It doesn't seem like that's 100% a guarantee that he will never need surgery, but they're going to proceed for now as if he won't and see how the rehab goes, which certainly in terms of trying to get him back as soon as possible is good news on that front. But that's still, I mean, he's missed one game so far. He's going to miss at least 7 more in December, and then presumably at least the first few in January. So he's already up into double-digit games missed already just with that. And then there's also the question of even once he returns, if he'll be at 100% or how quickly that'll take and how it might affect his shooting motion and that sort of thing. So plenty of concerns with this. He is with the team today. Sounded like he had some personal obligations to fulfill, so he went ahead and came to Toronto. But it sounds like he'll go back to Chicago before the end of the road trip to start his rehab.
I've got lots of general team questions on the Blackhawks, but just stay on Bedard while we're having the conversation. How do you see this, if at all, affecting his odds being selected for the Olympics?
Well, it's hard for me to say. Like, my job is covering the Blackhawks, not kind of the league as a whole. So I'm not maybe as well versed on the Team Canada roster argument as other people may be. But I mean, obviously it doesn't help. Coming into the year, he seemed like pretty well off the radar, and it was with his fantastic play so far that he'd been pushing himself deeper and deeper into that conversation. And so with every passing game, his argument was getting stronger as he continued to rack up the points and play stronger defense, be more competent on face-offs, on and on. So for him not to have 2 more weeks to make his case stronger is definitely not going to help, considering he was kind of fighting an uphill battle to begin with. But it's still, it doesn't seem out of the question that looking at his sample size, if they do feel confident that he will be healthy by February, that he could earn a selection. I think a lot of people would be excited about that.
After a couple of years with subpar kind of numbers, this year obviously shot out of a cannon here. You forget sometimes how young he still is. Right. And just the overall jump from year 2 to year 3 and the maturity that he's shown, Ben, mentally, physically. What stands out to you the most about how he's gone to another level?
Well, I think even off the ice, I've really personally noticed a big difference in just his comfort level in his own skin, even in interviews or just in casual conversation, that he's always going to be a private, relatively introverted guy, but he is having much more of a voice. He's much more honest and blunt. He's showing a sense of humor. He just seems way more comfortable in this environment, in this spotlight, in the league. Winning helps with that, but you also see just with his maturity, it's like kind of a switch flipped in him over the summer. And he's also, I talked to him about this, and he's acknowledged that he also realizes that it's good for his brand. It's good for the fans to see a little bit more of him. And also just for him to have more of a voice on matters around the league, to have more relationship with referees, which is something that had kind of bothered him the first few years in terms of like how often he got thrown out of faceoffs and that sort of thing. So him just showing a little bit more of himself and having more of an identity as a person beyond just a player is a big thing I've noticed. And as you mentioned, he is still unbelievably young. When Nick Foligno got hurt in November, he started wearing an A, which was a big sign that the team trusted more to handle those kind of things. But it was funny, Oliver Moore, who first-round pick later in that same draft as him, had just gotten called up and was playing one of his first NHL games. And he joked that it was funny that Bedard was wearing an A and he's 9 months younger than him, which is weird to think about because Moore, he's fresh into the league. He seems like he's brand new, whereas Bedard's played 2.5 years now, and yet he's younger than Moore. So yeah, he is very young still.
It is. It's a great context for where he's at. So turning the page on Bedard, unless Kip, you have anything else? I want to talk about the greater Blackhawks team, where they've taken a step from what they have been in past seasons here as this rebuild starts to turn around. Give us sort of fill us in on where that progression is on their way to being a Stanley Cup contender again.
Well, it was looking, very good for a while there, probably unsustainably so. And then it has kind of fallen back to earth. They've only won 3 of the last 13 games. And certainly over this coming stretch without Bedard, it's going to be hard to rack up too many wins during this span. But they definitely look more competitive than in previous years. Jeff Blashill has made some smart moves in terms of adjusting the system and the roster to try to get the most out of these young guys. They've been in a lot of games. I mean, they're 1-6 in overtimes and shootouts. So you flip that record around, and their overall record would be even better. And they're 13-13 and 6 overall, which is certainly a lot better than we've seen the past few years to begin with. But still, it's a ways to go. Like one thing they really miss is kind of other top 6 scorers that aren't just either Bedard or guys that complement Bedard. Like Tyler Bertuzzi and Andrei Burakovsky are solid players, but they're really there to just kind of help Bedard. Like Bertuzzi's a great finisher around the net, and Burakovsky can kind of help Bedard carry the puck into the zone to take some pressure off him with that. Without Bedard, they're not really as useful. Whereas we're going to see by this spring or next fall, a lot more talent kind of joining the forward group. Roman Kantsarov leads the KHL in goals. Anton Frondell, the number 3 overall pick, who's been having a great year in Sweden. And then Nick Lardis, who will play his second NHL game tonight, who had 71 goals in the OHL last year and was over a point per game in the AHL this year. Once those 3 guys are in the NHL and established, if they live up to their potential, and the Hawks are certainly hoping at least 2 of the 3 do, then that's a lot more talent and help that Bedard will have around him, because right now it's just him, Frank Nazar, and some kind of veteran fill-in pieces. So There's still a ways to go, but this team is a lot more competitive than it had been the past few years.
Sorry, so there was Lardis, Frondell, and what was the KHL guy's name?
Roman Kantsarov, second round pick, also in the 2023 draft, the same one as Bedard and Moore. But his stock has really risen since then. He's leading the KHL in goals by, I think, 4 or 5, wow. And he's doing that as a 21-year-old. So,
and Ben, just Spencer Knight, at some point, the battles that he's had have been well publicized with the Florida Panthers, the Chicago trades for him. Maybe a thought that maybe he could come back and be that goalie that was once projected as one of the better ones outside the National Hockey League overall, 10 wins, a save percentage above 900, just how he's fared so far in handling, the number one role.
Yeah, he has really run with it, and that's certainly another factor in why this team is better that shouldn't be overlooked. I think he's still third in the league in goals save above average, depending on what source you look at. And his ability to make the high danger saves is really impressive. I think his high danger save percentage might be the best in the league. And even last year in Florida as a backup, it was the best in the league. Like if there's a big breakdown and there's a 2-on-none or a 2-on-1 down low, his lateral movement and reactions are really elite. And so for this young defense, that is prone to some major breakdowns. His ability to make saves in that situation with surprising regularity is really helpful. But he's been consistent too. It's not like he's been allowing soft goals and making the big saves. He hasn't allowed too many soft goals. He's been really impressive. Talking to him off the ice, just his maturity and knowledge and thoughtfulness really stands out in terms of the lessons he learned in Florida, watching Bobrovsky, watching what it took to win a Stanley Cup. And just his own off-ice habits have been kind of fascinating to learn about. And I wrote a story about that a few weeks ago that people seem to really enjoy. And he has like a red light therapy mat that he brings on the road. And he's eating meals between periods as a backup just to increase his caloric intake. And he's just really dialed in on pretty much everything he's doing and living up and exceeding all the expectations the Blackhawks have had so far. That trade is looking very smart in retrospect.
Okay, so I need you to explain to me why every time I watch a Blackhawks game, I hear the name Louis Crevier like 10 times. Like this guy, he seems like he's in the thick of everything. What is his deal?
Yeah, amazing story for him. 7th round pick out of the QMJHL.
Huge.
Was like a third pairing defenseman his first couple of years in the AHL, like even getting healthy scratch sometimes, like just seemed totally off the NHL radar. And then he just started getting better, and he just kept getting better and better, and had been kind of in and out of the lineup the past 2 years as a depth guy. And then this year he's just kind of established himself as a top 4 defenseman. He's 6'8". He can skate pretty well. He's getting better at moving the puck. He has a bomb of a shot. He's smart. He's really interesting guy off the ice, very humble. It's just a really great story kind of out of nowhere that they found a pretty solid piece in him, someone who it looks like could be here for a while. Really cool story, and I'm glad to see him having the success he's having. He's one of my favorite people to talk to around the team.
Ben, really enjoy your time, man. Appreciate the update on the Chicago Blackhawks. We're looking forward to the game. I hope you are as well. Thanks for joining us.
Yep, thanks for having me.
Thanks, Ben.
That is Ben Pope, Chicago Sun-Times.
Crevier, 6'8", 230.
Oh, my God.
6'8", 230, 24 years old, skates well, has 3 goals and 8 assists this year.
6'8" off skate.
Can't be that
So,
tall and skate well. Come on.
Chara style. And 35 pims, like he's kind of nasty. Bomb shot.
Not to change the subject of this, but have you seen the North Bay kid?
Yeah.
Playing for North, like
7-footer?
7-footer.
7'1" or whatever.
No, I haven't seen
What?
him.
Yeah.
You just look out, open any
You'll
door
see
you
him.
want, look outside. You'll
Yeah.
see him.
Yeah.
He's the size of a building.
It's crazy.
That is so awesome.
But I saw
And
a
he's
clip.
playing well.
Can
I
you
saw a
not-
clip of a kid, like a normal sized hockey player standing beside him, and it's Altuve versus Judge.
Can you just not like string a guy out there and just, like a cartoon character where you're swinging and you can't reach?
Oh, I don't
in a
even know if he's a
fight?
fighter.
I don't know if he's going to be a meanie
Well,
or
he
not.
better learn to fight because he's gonna.
He's Rempe's only, he's a matchup for Rempe. Gotta.
No, Rempe's a shrimp compared to him.
Yeah.
No kidding. Yeah, he's that's tough. I do think that when you're that long, it takes a lot of years to learn how to coordinate it all. You could be 25, 26 and still be figuring it out.
So Hawks, Ben was talking, that was a great job breaking down all the prospects that they have, the guys that are kind of on the next level. And yeah, the one kid lighting it up in the KHL. 22 goals at this point of KHL season is like a lot of goals. Yeah. No one scores in that league. They just play with a stone puck or something. I don't know. But
this is where you're almost a little bit dangerous when you're supposed to be right out of the game tonight, and some of these kids have everything to gain.
But these guys,
Florida scored 70 in the O, and it's like, look out. Florida's getting
nothing to lose.
Yeah.
But
supposed to lose.
The question is like, how much, because they've shown some progress here, and he's talking about the veterans that are sort of placeholders. But you are a major market. You have Connor Bedard. Like, at what point are you going to be patient and wait for these guys to turn into stars in 3 or 4 years? Or are you going to trade one or two of them to get great players?
They can just look at Buffalo's program and say 14 years should be sufficient.
That'll do the job. Yeah, that'll do the trick.
First off, they are spending no money.
No money.
Blackhawks.
Yeah.
They're dead last in salary cap spend right now.
But you have to think, once they're going to get good, they'll spend it. Yeah.
They will. But this, I love this. They have 5 picks in the first 2 rounds this year. 2 firsts and 3
They were
seconds.
ready.
5 picks in the first 2.
They're ready to add
The Leafs have one of those?
Connor this year.
They have the Leafs for McCabe.
Yeah.
They're ready.
So
they get to free agency. They're going to throw a pile of money to somebody.
So they'll throw money at some free agents.
Nobody
Alex
gets
Tuck.
there. Nobody
Alex
gets
Tuck.
there.
Yeah. But they'll turn these picks, you're right, into a couple of guys. You need some Bertuzzi and Burakovsky, not going to cut it.
No.
You're not turning around just waiting for all your prospects to get good. That doesn't pan out. You have to do some other things. So they're at the point now where it's like, okay, you're about a 500 hockey team. You got lots of picks. You got lots of prospects.
Yep.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Get feisty.
Blackhawks.
And that's a market that the league desperately needs.
Well, I mean, they're in a
back.
Winter Classics. They're like, we need another Winter Classic in Chicago.
And Connor's done a good job so far making people believe that this is now is a team that you're going to want to watch.
Well, it was never going to be, without you have to have a superstar, for these teams to win lots of games, to get lots of eyeballs, to be what they want them to be.
Gary was so excited. What years were that? Were the Hawks and the Kings playing in the conference final every year? He's like, oh yeah, this is my dream. Red Wings were in there every year.
They
like,
had, what was it? Our Rangers Kings in the final one year.
Sports fashion, I know you'll love this, but are the Blackhawks the best jersey in the league?
Yes, they're the best jersey in the league.
They're in my top 3.
The black.
Who's your favorite?
You like the black?
No, I don't love the black. Red's my favorite.
I liked my old Washington Capitals.
We have one
red.
of those.
Red.
Yeah. Oh, the red one.
The red one.
Yeah.
I like the
The
Capitals
away
white
red
a
one.
lot.
Yeah.
My
Would be
college
home
hockey
now, I
team
guess.
was the best one. The Alaska Anchorage.
Rangers.
No, the NHL. Come on. You're killing me here. Yeah, the zigzags are my favorite jersey.
I mean it, by the way.
I think
Rangers
Flames,
blue too.
I think Flames white with the red shoulders is my favorite in the league.
it's a great sweater
Yeah,
too.
it's beautiful.
Tough to argue.
Beautiful.
I
All
can't believe I engaged in that
I
conversation.
love it. I love it, Kipper.
We're
Sports
all
fashion.
growing as people.
Sports fashion,
God.
baby. Me and
Next.
Gunnar used to do a segment
Christmas.
called Sports Fashion.
Christmas pajamas next.
Sure.
That North Stars jersey we got.
Yeah,
hanging
it's
over
pretty
there.
nice.
It's pretty beautiful.
So must win tonight?
Absolutely not.
Yes.
There's no must wins in December.
No. Must win. No.
Or what?
What was the other term you
Can't
used?
lose.
Can't lose. How about that one? That one makes you feel better?
It's a coward's angle. And are you okay with a point then? That's
No.
Well, that's not a direct loss. You get
You're
a point.
losing traction with a point. Get yourself out of this stinking basement with Buffalo,
You guys aren't
please.
going to know what to do if they ever have a real must-win game.
All right, must listen is in our next hour as we go national with Steve Valiquette. That is must listen. More when we return to Real Kyper and Bourne. Do not go away. Here we go. It's the National Hour on the Real Kyper and Bourne Show. Nick Kypreos, Justin Bourne, Sammy McKee. We are live on Sportsnet. Sportsnet 650 in Vancouver, 960 in Calgary, and streaming always on Sportsnet Plus, always available on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and YouTube. This hour of Real Kyper and Bourne brought to you by Bet365. In a few minutes, we'll welcome in, as always, on a Tuesday, Steve Valiquette, analyst with the New York Rangers on MSG. And if I'm reading this correctly, Sammy,
Yes.
CEO, Clearsight Analytics, and director of goaltending for Real Kyper and Bourne.
That was right? Was that the name?
Brilliant.
Was that the name you said?
That was the name. You
right,
nailed it.
Right, but I screwed up Ben Pope's title, but I got that right.
When did we add director of goaltending for Real Kyper and Bourne show? When?
Right now.
Today. We made that decision on air.
We've talked about that 3 straight weeks, bud.
I know, but you've never put it in the lineup
Well, that is
before.
how
Today.
it becomes official.
I did it today.
So on Fridays, what do we give Doug McLean, like director of like
We can
smart
pick something.
assness?
Well, I mean, sure, but I mean,
Director of
pretty good.
crustiness?
former general manager, coach. Like, I mean, that's pretty good too.
All right.
No, he needs a show title.
All right, I'll
Yeah,
give him a
he
title.
needs
I'll
direct.
come up with something.
It's the director.
Yeah.
I'll come up with something.
Director title's nice. Or VP's good too.
God, Valley's just going to be so thrilled.
He's gonna be horned up.
So thrilled.
You know what's awesome? Tristan Jarry and Stuart Skinner are playing
Big
against
night
each other.
tonight.
Okay,
It's awesome.
I don't think I'm a little older than you guys, a lot older than you. Like, when was the last time we saw two goalies flipped and then play each other like within, I don't know, 3 days,
I'm sure it's
4
happening.
days?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard. It would be rather hard.
I know my dad tells a story about, I want to say it was John Tonelli. They went to a game and they told the two guys to switch dressing
It was
rooms.
Doug Waite and Esa Tikkanen, if I'm not mistaken.
That may have, maybe it's happened multiple times. I know in this case, the Islander guy didn't do it.
It happened with the
he
Leafs.
just
But
said
not
no.
goalies.
No,
Talking
and,
goalies.
playing that night. You're right. It's very uncommon.
Very rare.
I think Skinner made some comment about just ripping the Band-Aid off. Like, you're on a new team now. You're going to play the old team.
First game.
It's never going to get harder than this. Just go play them.
Because he's had, I guess, travel visa. I'm not going to pretend to know anything about this, but he couldn't play, work
Yeah.
permits, whatever.
It feels like McDavid's going to get like 11 on him. Or 0, one or the other. Maybe 11's high.
But
2?
these-
Oh, I
Three?
think he could pitch a shutout.
Yeah. Well, one of two things is happening. It's going great or awful.
Do they, like, he was loved there, right? He was a really, like, beloved teammate.
Well, teammate-wise, they loved him.
Yeah.
Loved him. I actually think fans loved the man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't love the
I'd
result.
rather hate somebody who can help me win.
Yeah, I see your point. Particularly when you're this close to a cup. If I'm on like Chicago and we're not winning the cup, I'll take a good guy.
But like, you can only have like one of those guys. You can't have like, it doesn't work if you got like 4 of them.
no.
So, no, it's going to be really cool to watch those. And it's a lot of pressure on Jarry, too, where
Just seeing Stan Montembeau to the Rocket de Laval for a stint de conditionnement.
Like you made
Wow.
you made a comment about Jarry Saturday night with a couple of those like rebounds, and Easton Cowan's goal didn't look very pretty.
it was awful. It was
Right?
a 2-mile-an-hour shot. He kicked right onto Cowan's stick.
You guys are looking for an excuse to crap on Jarry.
No.
That's what you're doing.
Here's what
Looking
else-
for an excuse.
Leafs bias, the two of you. You want the Oilers to. You want to make fun of the Oilers.
No.
we wanted Bidding to do the Oilers. That's what Kemper and I
That's what you wanted. You
We
wanted Bennington. You didn't get your way. Now you're going to be hard on Jarry.
I've been hard on Jarry for
He
a long
could
time.
he could strike lightning. I don't like the chances, but I'm not saying it's impossible.
Yeah, I mean, I agree that it's risky. You know, I mean, gosh, Skinner, the numbers were never good, but you did see him play in some big games. Jarry hasn't been there, so it's a little
7
bit of,
series wins for
cross the
Stu
fingers.
Skinner.
yeah.
Okay. Let's go to our director of goaltending for Real Kyper and Bourne show, and then there's some other part about
DOD.
CEO of something that
Oh, the dog, the
really
DOG director. Of
not that
goaltending.
important, but they've now labeled you the director of goaltending for our show here. How do you feel
I need
about
another
that?
title. I only have 5 jobs right now. I've got room for 6.
Awesome. Okay, so we're just picking up on, first of all, the rarity of two goalies getting swapped and then playing so quickly against one another. But your overall thoughts of the trade and, you know, whether or not Jarry, quite frankly, is big enough or good enough to take Edmonton to that next level, which we all agree would be a Stanley Cup.
Oh, We don't know because he hasn't done it before. And the only predictor of future success is past performance. And we haven't seen it since he was with the Edmonton Oil Kings in the WHL. But with the goalie swap tool, had Jarry taken all of the shots that he faced from last season, as well as this season, and the quality that he performs in those 39 different shot types, and plug and play in Edmonton's net, he would have stopped 15 more goals than both Skinner and Pickard combined. But the caveat there is only 5 would come off of Skinner's ledger, 10 would be on Pickard's ledger. So if you want to say him versus Skinner, it's a +5. Does that move the needle for you? I don't know. But Edmonton is known for giving up a lot of breakaways, and the goalie's not performing well on breakaways. Jarry's a very strong breakaway goalie. The same goes for rebounds. However, Jarry in that net is going to face more broken plays, more screens, where he underperforms Skinner's level on those 2 shot categories. It'll be a different look. The goals will look a little different, but you're getting close to the same result. But the change itself, in this case, was needed for both Skinner and Jarry. That's my feel.
So before I ask you my goalie question, is your office across the street from Madison Square Garden?
Yeah, this is the boardroom at MSG Networks.
You're in the office. Okay.
This is the boardroom. This is where I have my pregame meetings with producer, director, et cetera. Yeah. And then we go across the street. But we have 5 different studio locations, including on the bridge at the Garden, ice level at the Garden. Across here, we have multiple places that we do shooting. So, yeah, we've got 5 different studios to shoot from.
That is extremely cool. Okay, back to goaltending.
Well, yeah, Bourne, you're a TV stud now. We gotta.
I love this stuff. This is so cool. You're. That's the best.
Are you
going
to stay on the trade still?
Yes.
Okay, go.
Yeah.
Go. Very excited.
Okay. Which goalie then? Knowing that you're talking about your trades or your goalie swap tool, do you like the odds of one of them becoming something different than they've always been? Is there any chance that Skinner is all of a sudden we look back at this trade and go, God, they traded Skinner? Like, could that happen here?
You know, I take a deep breath because I don't see it.
Okay, that's fair.
I just don't. You know, and I want to root for both teams and to have success. I've worked closely with both teams a long time, and I think that, you know, I'm hoping for the best for both of these scenarios. And Bourne, what I see is just movement based.
Okay.
And technique alone doesn't stop the puck. We know that. There's a level of compete that's necessary. The environment plays a role. But from what I've seen from both guys, they're just not moving at the level of the top guys. And in the way the game's being played right now, if it's not point shots with heavy traffic, it's east to west. And I think the further we get down the road here for players being able to adapt the way they have over the last 10 years to the play styles that have been working at scoring goals, the skill level that keeps raising, that bar is not really being met from those 2 goalies.
You're watching and listening to Steve Valiquette, of course, CEO Clearsight Analytics, but more importantly, our director of goaltending for Real Kyper and Bourne Show. So, Valley, we heard from the Edmonton Oilers and Stan Bowman, and the sense that he gave us was that it was just time. We needed something different. We needed a change. And I'm just wondering, what did you think of the timing? This is before Christmas. There's not a lot out there. The sake of making a change just for making a change and then picking the guy that you think is most available right now. Would you have waited? Would you have preferred to see what happened in the new year? Who came more available? Of course, I threw out Binnington to Edmonton. There wasn't a sense that he was ready to go now, but who knows after the Olympics? Would you have waited longer than mid-December for Edmonton to make their big move?
I got traded myself, Kyper, before Christmas in the OHL, and it really helped. I was able to play 5 games for the Erie Otters before Christmas break, settled in, understood expectations, understood teammates and their responsibilities and strength of players and how the PK worked. And I was able to have a break at Christmas to digest it, just to get off the moving train. And we have never seen a goalie get traded at the deadline, get into that team that is most likely a contender if they're getting into that type of a situation and perform at a high level and steal a playoff series. Haven't seen it. So I think this is the time, rather than wait and see what else becomes available. The timing is before Christmas. I've always believed in that. You've got to get in there and get acclimated. So I do like the timing.
All right, that's fair.
Yeah, I love that. Valley, I want to get your sense of how lucky is it possible to get really lucky when you're not a great goaltender for what stretch of time? And I'm asking that because I think a lot of people I've read talk about Dennis Hildeby, and I've talked to you about him and other people. There's not a ton of people who are like, this guy is a premier athlete or reader of the play, or, the reviews are not unbelievable. But 11 games, he's a .923 save percentage this year. Trying to make heads and tails of, is he going to come back to earth, or is maybe he better than people think?
So you know what, Borny, it's not just the shots faced, it's the sequences faced per game, which is typically 70. Mm-hmm. And if you look at shots that don't reach the net, that's what I would look at. And you have to remind yourself that because of the way you guys played the game, you're probably more attracted to watching your position than the full scope of the game. Totally. I know I am.
Yes.
I mean, Borny, I watch the game through a straw for the most part. And I'm just I'm looking at the goalie and then I'm seeing everything around it. And oftentimes I have to, especially when I'm covering a Ranger game, go back and watch it again, see what everyone else's role was in that play and where they were missed assignments, etc. With the goaltender, Borny, you can see when somebody's not confident before a goal scored if they're going up and down before the puck even reaches the net. Okay. It's always a bad look where the puck is shot from the point, it hits a shin pad 5 or 6 feet away from the goalie, and the goalie's gone up and down twice. Or you're like, hey, this guy is not fighting for sight lines. He has no confidence to hold his feet. A compliment that a goalie coach would give you after a strong performance would be, you know what? You were on your feet all night tonight. When the puck didn't come to the net, you were on your feet all night tonight. You looked quiet and patient. You barely moved. NHL goalies, the top guys, they move less, and they move less distance. And it has a look, and it's posture and confidence with feet under you. And for Hildeby, I watch all the shots on goal, Borny, and there are a lot where behind traffic, as an example, he gets really small and sits in his crouch. And for a few of his starts, when you talk about luck, it doesn't show up in broken plays. It shows up in area of net missed. Oh. The shot just hits him, but he's sitting in his crouch. And here I am watching the video saying, boy, oh boy, that thing's an inch higher. It's in the net. I can see it. You could see it if I showed it to you. I know that not everybody is trained to watch goalies, but the goalie guys know.
Love it.
A young goaltender that comes into the league with a lot higher billing than Hildeby is Montreal Canadiens' Jacob Fowler. You saw him Saturday night at MSG. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I was, to what I just said there, it's an extension of that conversation, just didn't look confident. Confident goaltending it has an attitude that looks like, I want the puck. And you can see the posture is always forward because it's as if the net is in front of you, guys. All of us goalies that mature around 25 to 27, it's almost like we all have that light bulb moment where we finally realize the net's in front of us. And as soon as you forget about protecting the big object behind you, you stop tracking your body back towards protecting it and are really forceful at hovering down and over your pads and making your saves in front of you, at the imaginary net in front of you. And I played for Pete Peters when I was with the Oilers, and he was a really good goalie coach to give you that three-dimensional view of the net. He would attach dog leashes to the crossbar and bring it right down to the puck. And then you'd hop in the net, guys, in your butterfly, and you'd say to yourself, oh, my God, I only have to move 2 inches to make a blocker save here. That's my crossbar. My crossbar for my glove save is 6 inches. And that's the maximum distance a goalie should move their gloves to make a save if you're playing the net in front of you. And that's the idea. Everything is in front of you. I had this conversation with Ken Dryden, and one thing Ken said to me, guys, was I didn't want to be a stand-up goalie. I had to out of protection. So if you take those dog leash lines and you take it to the face-off dot the way Pete Peters did, the reason why Ken Dryden came out far and stood up was because the crossbar was at his belly button. And he said to me, the modern goalie has been able to back up in the crease because they have better padding in the upper body and a better helmet. So you can back up and now be a little more vulnerable around your shoulders and neck area, because that crossbar is in an area now that you have to go and reach and attack it. And because the game has moved so east to west, you have to play a little deeper in your crease now to be available on your edges.
I actually want to ask you about that. Players shoot off goalies' helmets from tough angles now, shoot for the head, shoot up around the ears. Do we feel like that's disrespectful? Does it bother goaltending? Goaltenders, can you goaltend that? Like, what are your feelings about players doing that?
My thoughts are, Bourne, that the trapezoid should be the zone where the goalie gets into a reverse VH, but he should not be sitting in that as a setup before a player enters that trapezoid. If you take the trapezoid from below the goal line and just extend it up into the zone, imagine that would be where a goalie should transition into that reverse VH down on one knee. And if you go before it, you deserve to get hit in the head, because you're really giving a target to everybody. Yeah. And you know what? Furthermore, you want to hear a good story? At a gentleman's club in Moscow. That's a good way to start any story. Yeah. Run into Dominik Hasek. Okay. And I thanked him because I read an article in the Hockey News when he was at the Buffalo Sabres that he said a good NHL goalie should never just get hit in the head. Think about that. He said, and he was telling me, if you're just going to get hit in the head, that means you're just staring at it and you blindly just take it in the head like you didn't see it coming. A good NHL goalie should catch it. A good NHL goalie should have the timing that they come down with the puck. The only time a goalie should ever get upset at a teammate for hitting them in the head is if it's 4 feet over the net. But if you go down early into a butterfly and get hit in the head on your way down, you're not a real NHL goalie. You're not. So I think that what Hasek said to me was, I used to tell guys, if I was ever getting puck shy, pile of pucks in the high slot, just shoot at my face. Just shoot at my face, and I'm going to watch it with my eyes open the entire way. And one of the exercises I use with the goalies that flinch, and this is a common problem, especially through high school and junior, is I tell them to grab a piece of wood, grab some nails and a hammer, and keep their eyes open as they make contact on the head of the nail, and not flinch their eyes at all. Or sponge pucks from the slot. You don't have to use Hasek style with the vulcanized rubber, the real puck, but use a sponge puck. When I was with the Oilers, that's the way Mac T used to help everybody get confident in blocking shots. Just use sponge pucks just to get the proper technique so you could take away the long side of the net. Really cool.
Valley, I know when you're not on Tuesdays with us, you do listen a lot, and I know that you caught Dan Boyle talking power plays, and it was a good conversation. Anyone that missed it, you can always download it on Spotify or YouTube, Apple. And just in terms of our Leaf Edition hour, the struggling Toronto Maple Leaf power play and what they can do, and they still got world-class talent on it. But you have some thoughts on what a goaltender sees on the fundamentals of what makes a power play go.
Yeah, I think that one thing I can help people with is just, how do you make a goalie feel uncomfortable? I'm an expert at that. Now, when I listen to your show, when I'm away from New York and I'm typically on a chairlift in Vermont, that's where I get the most out of feeling like I'm in the locker room. Okay. So when I was listening to that conversation, here's what I liked. Now, Dan Boyle, he was here. What a stud defenseman, saw the game in a spectacular way. And the play that he was referring to was the low play below the goal line, specifically on a 5-on-3 or a 5-on-4. This works really well where the first play of the game is receive it and throw it at the goalie's feet. Now, it's really good for two reasons, because everybody knows it's coming. So you can get chaos. You might get a broken play at net front. But the best reason, and why it helps later on in the game and it helps you at 5-on-5, is the goalie will not be able to cheat on your pass and get ahead, because goalies are always trying to locate the receiving player in the slot and then cheat on the pass and get ahead of it so they can get ice and get aggressive. But now you have to honor the low play, because this is a team that will potentially throw it at your feet and make you look bad. So you always have that on your mind, and you can't jump the pass. So that's a great way to start any power play, because especially when you have a team that's really struggling to be on the same page, the first one is everybody's connected, and this was Tortorella's thing, and it always made sense to me as a goalie. And then from there, you can freelance and play your style and let you guys be creative. But everything, I talked to Adam Oates over the years, or Scott Gomez, who was close with Adam Oates, really into the power play stuff. They always tell me that the most important aspect of the power play is knowing where your outs are. And that's knowing where all your players are. And, one thing that I've really worked on over the years, guys, is I've tried to figure out where most goals are scored from off of passes, because you typically need a pass to move the goalie, get them down on their knees before shooting, specifically on a power play. Where the Toronto Maple Leafs haven't done a great job is they haven't created enough high danger scoring chances. They take too many 5-on-5 shots. Mm-hmm. Now, if you were to stand on the faceoff dot, just to the left of the goalie where the puck gets dropped, and you skate towards the net and stop with your stick at the bottom of the circle, don't go any further. That is the biggest opening to the mouth of the net with the most vertical angle, which requires the goalie to move the most. That's the honey hole of hockey. So if you have a player there on the power play and there's a play in the right corner, you should be able to blind that puck there. Mm-hmm. Or if you're at net, you can blind the backhand there. You can blind it off the top circle. So there are reasons and focal areas where teams could position themselves better to be a better threat to score, for sure.
Yeah, that's good insights. I wanted to also get your take on, like, one of the complaints I've seen watching the Leafs all the time is that they're bad at dumping the puck in. They dump it to the goalies too much. So how much do you talk with goalies about puck play and getting out of the net and their role in instigating a forecheck? Is it more or less than it used to be in years past that you have goalies coming out?
So I work on it every day when I'm training goalies, every session. I'm on the ice actually a lot right now with everybody back from college and prep school on break. We have 4 calls. Call number 1 is play it. That means there's a forecheck on you. And the key for any team when they're working with their goaltender is they have to start yelling it at the top of the circle. Scream it. It's only 2 words. Play it, play it. The goaltender makes up their mind, and I like them to stay strong side on the forehand, put it on the glass, get it away from traffic. That's the safest way to get out of your zone. The second call is leave it. And the goalie must leave it on the goal line, not above the goal line, because it can't be a threat to enter their own net. When the puck is left on the goal line just outside the trapezoid, the receiving defenseman can go up ice or he can wheel the net. The next play is reverse. Mm-hmm. A reverse is on the backhand. Now, this is important. Any puck that's dumped in on the goalie, whether it's coming on strong side or weak side, on their backhand side, the goalie's on his backhand on both plays. So he's blind to his right corner, and that's always the reverse side. It doesn't matter what side it gets dumped on. If you call the goalie by name, then fan out and get a complete pass on the tape. And those are the 4 calls. In that, it's simple language. Everybody understands it, and you don't get messed up. When I see a goalie that handles the puck really well, if I'm playing against that goaltender, I don't let him touch it. What I do is I hammer it from center ice on the ice, because if it's left or right of the goalie, he will be putting it in the corner, and then we can get a jump on the forecheck or low blocker. Low blocker is a great shot, too, because it's always in play.
Valley, got your thoughts on the big Jarry trade with Skinner? I'd be remiss to not ask you about Quinn Hughes in Minnesota and whether or not this gets them closer into conversations with Dallas and Colorado for the Western Conference.
So I'm fascinated with scouting. I was around these guys for a couple of years when I was working for the Islanders, and they have a different language. It's fascinating. I love listening to Jason Bukala when he comes on your show. You just hear it in their voice. They have a passion for it. These guys do everything for our game, and the best staffs have the most success and really give you the flexibility to make trades. When I was looking at, there's a guy by the name of Kevin Gilmore, and he was on the Jason Greger show not too long ago, guys. You can pick it up on YouTube. I know you've had Jason on your show. He's a terrific guy. I've been on his show before. And Kevin Gilmore did a study on all of the best drafting GMs over the last 20 years. And Jarmo Kekäläinen is 22.5% success rate of players playing 300 games in the drafts that he held. That was the highest over the time that he was a GM in Columbus. The average is 12%. So I can see why Buffalo makes that move too, just to pivot to Buffalo for a second.
Why don't they just keep him as a scout then?
Well, I think that he's in charge of, when he was GM Kipper in Columbus, he was in charge of the scouting staff and helped have the proper structure to be able to pull the best players. I think that's going to help them. But, how about Buffalo? They're already at 14 years. Let's call it another 5. That's the tough part to swallow. But different conversation. What's fascinating about this Minnesota-Vancouver trade is the scouts that were involved there, Judd Brackett, and Dan Palango. They drafted all of these players in the Vancouver drafts. Listen to this: Bo Horvat, Virtanen, Jared McCann, Besser, Elias Pettersson, Quinn Hughes, Podkolzin. If not for an injury, Ole Ulevi would have been a first-rounder that stuck as well. So that's 8 first-round picks. And the players, guys, they were hitting at a success rate in the first round at 88%. Like in New York here, guys, we've had 9 first-rounders since I think it was the 17 or 18 draft. We only have 2 playing for the Rangers right now, Lafreniere and Schneider. Like, I've seen how hard it is to hit on first rounders. And later round picks, they had 10 other players, which would include like Demko and Ben Hutton and Forsling. Like, they've done a really good job. The ironic thing is that in 2020, there was an article that was in ESPN today written about this. In 2020, Benning fired these 2 guys, and they went to Minnesota. And all they've done is draft over the last 5-6 years the same way in Minnesota. And all the guys they traded for Vancouver in this Hughes deal came from Minnesota of the drafts from these 2 guys, Judd Brackett and Dan Palango. And what irony.
What a circle.
What a circle. I'm reading about this and learning about this, and I'm like, oh my God, this is a story in itself. So really neat article that I read here on this today. The next 5 years after Judd Brackett and Dan Palango were fired, it says in this article, they were only able to select 1 player that has played 50 games in the NHL, and that's Elias N. Pettersson, the defenseman. So it's amazing, the irony. But they would, it's funny too, because you hear like some of these circles of where people had success. LA in the early 2000s, their staff goes to Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay drafts a ton of great guys. Dallas, same thing. A lot of these circles of scouts that are lesser known in the mainstream, but should be, front runners for, I would say even plucking them off of where they are for more money. Like, scouts got to get paid more. That's how trades are going to get made.
They can make or break you.
I love that. And I love all the scouts listening right now being like, I totally agree, because they should.
Well, guys, what did it take for coaches to start getting paid at the value that they're getting paid?
You know what, though, Valley? Moneyball vilified scouts. Moneyball made them look like a bunch of meatballs who didn't know anything about anything, and that wasn't fair.
No, it's a bunch of BS. These guys do everything for the game, and they allow you to have flexibility to make trades or not. That's why Vancouver was making this trade with Minnesota. That's the only reason why.
Yeah.
And you like it for many. I mean, Quinn Hughes control half a game.
Oh, yeah. Like, again, okay, so analytics do play a role for me. It helps me get to the video quicker, really.
Yeah.
I'm really a video watcher.
Yeah.
And Bourne, I know you are too.
Yeah, it just leads you, gives you the flags to know what to look at.
Correct. And, just give me a shortcut. So I'm, of course, watching a bunch of Quinn Hughes video after the deal gets done. And look, man, this guy, 121 times this year, he set his teammates up for scoring chances. That's most among all defensemen, right? And they have a pretty weak odd man rush, Minnesota. That's going to get them up ice and give them advantage that way. You can't win a Stanley Cup without, a few different layers to your offense. Minnesota's doing a great job, but to get in there and, you know how it is, to get seating the right way, you need a overhead attack.
Okay, I know we're going to get to grill marks here pretty soon, but one more for me, and that is culture and healthy scratches. The 2024 first round pick for Chicago's not playing tonight because he went to the rink late yesterday. I think there's a Zibanejad also with a veteran here. Just your thoughts on culture and what's going on in New York with that with Zibanejad.
So
healthy
what
scratch.
happened is there were 5 players that live in New York City that have to get to the training center, which is 45 minutes away. 4 of them were on time for the meeting. Zibanejad was not. So as we know, and I hear you guys complaining about Toronto, it's the same here in New York, right? It's tough to get around. So 4 guys make it on time. Zibanejad does not. He sits out last night, and I see both sides of it. Okay, but here's one thing I've seen a bit of a pattern on here over the last few years. Chris Kreider last year was a healthy scratch, and it was made public. Jacob Trouba, there was a leaked text message among the GMs last year, and he was on the trade list, and that got leaked, and he was let go. And Shesterkin, his contract got leaked, and now we have Zibanejad. And my first thought is this first steps to try to get this guy to town? How can you not think that way?
Right.
Because there's sort of a pattern here. Now, by the same token, maybe, and this is what we don't know, we're just speculating, maybe Zibanejad has a history of being late, and they're just fed up, and they're like, you know what? I know I can't shame or blame a millionaire, but I can take away their ice time, or I can healthy scratch them, and that's the way I'm going to get them. And maybe get a voice out to the rest of the team that if I can scratch an assistant captain for being late, that's our team culture, that's our standard. So I can see it from that perspective as well. Of course, I don't know the answer, but there is a pattern there, and you'd be silly not to see it.
I bet you were never late. I was never late.
And then Mike,
Buddy, you can, if you're a backup and you're late, you might as well just not show up.
Oh,
You
buddy.
show up.
They're
I'm
an
telling
hour
you,
early. Just knitting.
there are no
waiting.
mistakes for fourth liners
No.
and
I'd
backups.
rather be dead than be late for a practice.
Oh.
Okay, rather
Hey,
be dead.
we used to
Real
go
arms.
out. Our bus would leave from. So we were in Alaska in college, and so we would fly out on Sunday mornings at like 7 a.m. So the bus would leave at the airport at like 4. So you'd come home from the bar and not want to miss the bus. You just go on the bus. They'd leave it unlocked. You just fall asleep on the bus post bar to make sure you're 3 hours early for bus departure.
Those college
I've been
kids
in
so
Alaska
smart.
a lot over the summer. I know how the sun doesn't go down there, and it's very dark in the winter. It can't be easy to wake up.
Absolutely. All right.
Boys, grill marks, grill the panel. By the way, Morton's is out.
Oh, they're out, eh?
They're out.
Open
They're
door for Ruth's Chris.
Working on my next deal. All right, so guys, here's the leaderboard right now. We've got Bourne. You had a big week last week. You're at 19 points. Kyper, you dropped to second. You're 18 points. McKee's at 17 points. I haven't heard McKee. Is he here today?
Hey, buddy.
All right, you're in the mix. Today we're going to talk goaltending, okay? And we're going to talk about the goalie environment. Where you play matters. Sometimes you can play for a team. And, the reason why I like this stat is because when I was playing, you could always debate, is my partner getting the hard games and I'm getting the easy games, or vice versa? It's always a narrative around the team. And sometimes, like this year in New York, you wouldn't believe how much better the team is defending in front of Shesterkin than they are in front of Jonathan Quick. Like, it's not even close. If you looked at them on a leaderboard, you'd think they're on two different teams. That's how much harder the environment's been for Jonathan Quick. Happens sometimes. Now, we're going to talk about the best environment in the NHL. Where's the easiest place to play? Is it Thompson, Washington, Sorokin, Islanders, Wallstad, Minnesota?
Wallstad.
I got my pick. I'm going.
Yeah, I'm
Thompson.
going. I'm going mini.
Second.
Uh-oh.
Second. I'm gonna have to back something up here
Uh-oh.
because I made a little error, but I'm going to fix it. This is based on the best save percentage differential, which means it's the difference between the quality faced and saved. So Wallstead, Sorokin, Thompson, they play in a certain environment. It doesn't matter how difficult it is, but how much better is their save percentage based on the
All right,
quality they
I'm
face.
gonna change mine. I'm gonna go Sorokin.
I'm sticking Wallstead in mini.
I'm gonna go Sorokin too.
Okay, it's Wallstad, and good call there, McKee.
Sam.
His environment is 903, but he's saved 931.
Wow.
So that's a plus. Yeah, he's got the best differential there. All right. Now, the best environment is, again, based on the ease of who you're playing behind. And the best environment is one of these three guys. It's DeSmith in Dallas, again, Wallstead in Minnesota, or Wedgwood in Colorado.
I'm gonna take Wedgwood in Colorado.
What are the other two?
Dallas,
DeSmith.
Wallstead.
Yeah, I like
Smith.
the Smith. I like the Smith.
I'm going mini again. Wallstead.
Okay, it's DeSmith. McKee's on fire right now.
Bang.
Oh no!
I'm like
right.
0 for 6.
Let's go,
Okay,
man.
guys.
Slump.
This is a three-pointer. So,
All right.
McKee, you're right back in the mix now.
Let's
You're
go.
actually in the lead now. Okay. The worst environment. What goalie has had the worst array of shots faced this year?
Joseph Woll.
Markstrom, Anderson in Carolina, or Sorokin?
I'm gonna say my boy Anderson.
I'll take Markstrom.
I'll take Markstrom too.
Anderson.
Sam McKee, everyone.
Not bad.
No, it's a wild one. They have given up the most rush chances this year, Carolina has. They've given up the most breakaways. They've really changed the way they play, guys. They are gone, and see you later. They leave the goalies for everything. But Lucy's been good.
That's based off the one game they played against the Leafs, where they gave up so many.
Spectacular.
I got grill marks on my ass right now.
Valley, not bad for a guy who thinks they should replace goalies with a board.
Oh, you know what? I'm still sensitive to that comment.
Yeah, joking.
I almost fell off the chairlift when I heard that.
Valley, bringing
All right,
it big
boys.
time, buddy.
Yep, we're going to see a good one here. We've got Vancouver across the street right now, and
All right.
I'm going to tighten my tie and
Hey,
get to work.
Just quickly.
We gotta let him go.
No,
Let
just
the guy
just
go.
one
Say a
second.
word.
Like New Jersey missing out on Quinn Hughes, and if that wasn't bad enough, they lose to Vancouver.
Well, you know what? I actually looked something up before we came on. Give me 2 seconds here. How about this?
He's going to be late for his game.
It's okay. He's
Listen to
good.
this. Listen to this. The Devils drafted Holtz ahead of Rossi, Saliev ahead of Zeev Buyam, and Nemec ahead of Ogren. And those were the players that made that deal. So think about that. Minnesota, those guys that they drafted, in some cases, they moved up in the draft to select them, which takes a lot of onions. And on top of that, they were players that New Jersey could have had, and they could have completed the deal.
Wow. Tell you what,
Right?
this may speed up Vancouver a little bit in the next few years. It's a good
I'm
trade.
telling you, we had that Buyam in here at the beginning of the year. That guy is a stud.
He could skate, eh?
Stud.
He can get up and
Man,
down
he
the
is.
ice.
He can play the game. It won't be that much of a drop off of Hughes in a few years.
Yeah, that's great to hear for Vancouver fans. Valley, awesome stuff.
Great directing.
All right.
Okay, buddy. Enjoy the week. We'll
Thanks,
catch
Val.
up to you
Appreciate
soon. That
My
is
pleasure.
Steve Valiquette, CEO of Real Kyper and Bourne.
Wow, I just got.
I don't know what he is,
I just
but
got smoking hot there.
Yeah,
Hey,
you did.
boy,
Jumped
cleaned
the whole
up.
leaderboard.
It's game time. Presented by Bet365. Visit the app for latest odds and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 plus. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. So 10 games on the ice tonight, but for our national audience, I'm just going to focus right in on the Leafs. So love that. Toronto Maple Leafs hosting the Chicago Blackhawks in what both Kipper and I called in the first hour a must-win, can't-lose game.
I called it 3 points.
Okay. The leaders got called. Oh, squeaky over there.
Sorry.
Leaders got called out by Craig Berube after last game with a bad effort against the Edmonton Oilers. Give me tonight a parlay of Austin Matthews to score a goal and William Nylander to score a goal. Both of them anytime goal, including overtime, at plus 500 for a goal from both of those guys tonight.
Ooh, that's good value.
I think both those guys are going to show up. They have to, or else, the Leafs are going to lose a can't-lose game, and that would be bad. So a Austin Matthews to score a goal and William Nylander to score an anytime goal parlay at plus 500. And one other thing that I wanted to bring up quickly, Fowler starting again tonight for the Habs. We heard Valley talking about how he thought he looked a little bit nervous. He is starting at home against the Philadelphia Flyers. They are favorites in that game, minus 125. Flyers holding a playoff spot right now. Sneaky good this year. Don't hate them as a plus 105 underdog in I think it would be the kid's home debut, right? Because I think he's played both of his games on the road.
That I don't know.
I think that's right. Anyways, I'm just going to say it's right. That was Game Time presented by Bet365. Visit the app for latest odds and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. It's 19 plus. Ontario only. Please play responsibly.
Okay, let's take a quick break. And when we return, the Buffalo Sabres address the media for the first time since making major changes. We'll get into all that next when we return to Real Kyper and Bourne. As a reminder, this hour of Real Kyper and Bourne brought to you by Bet365. Nick Kypreos, Tristan Jarry, Sammy McKee, Jarmo, Kekäläinen. Now, the big cheese here. So that was a pretty good stat that Valley gave us, that his draft picks are like at 22% when everyone else is at 12.
The one thing that stood out to me that helps you there, and not to take away from that stat, is just that the Columbus mostly wasn't very good. Right? A lot easier for a guy to collect 200 games for a team that's...
One round in the bubble is what they've...
I mean, he made playoffs 5 times.
Yeah.
It wasn't the bubble when they beat Columbus. I mean, when they beat Tampa. Wasn't the bubble.
No.
They lost a bubble. They lost to.
No, they beat Toronto.
Yeah, that doesn't count as
That
a
doesn't count.
playoff series win. That was a play-in series.
All right, so I'm reaching. I get.
Yeah.
Man, the Leafs came back from 3-0 down with like 4 minutes left in that game.
And then
Matthews
did
scored in
nothing.
overtime and then lost. They
Anything
lost 3-0.
earth-shattering that you picked up, like at the end of the day, you could have predicted this thing the moment Jarmo joined.
Yeah, and I hate that. You know, like if you don't believe in your GM and you want to hire someone you think is better, just do it.
I know.
You know, you bring in he's got the scythe and the Grim Reaper hood was standing beside
Now-
you. Who are you going to trade?
Kevin Adams must have been told that Yarmo's going to come in. I wouldn't think he hired him on his own.
Nope.
You don't necessarily want to go out and hire your replacement.
How's that handshake? Like, hey, welcome. Let me show you where everything is. Yeah, I don't know.
He didn't give his coach any good vibes.
We have a couple clips. Play the first one. This is on Lindy Ruff, Derek. Clip 1. Forward.
Well, Lindy's resume speaks for itself. He's been a great coach in the league for a long time. I've really enjoyed my interaction with him day to day. He works his tail off every day. He's early. He's watching tape. He's analyzing. He's talking to the players. He's got a good line of communication with them, and he's looking for ways to get better. So I've really enjoyed my time so far with Lindy.
What does that mean? There's no changes in the coaching staff?
We're going to evaluate everything moving forward, whether it's the scouting staff, management, coaches. Everybody is under evaluation at this point, but there are a lot of good people here that are great at their jobs.
There's just
I'm the only one that's not being evaluated.
yeah, everyone's under evaluation but me. There's no way I can look at the Sabres roster and be like, a different coach would have them succeeding. Like, no, say what you want about Lindy, Peyton Krebs top line, Noah Ostlund second line. Like,
You don't watch the game very well?
There's not enough here.
I see when you come out and kind of sugarcoat the whole thing, he's a sitting duck. We know that, right? And
maybe at the end of the year.
When you've got a split in the room, and this isn't per se a Lindy thing. This is just in general that you may have 5 or 6 guys that hate him, Lindy.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you're
pretty much every team.
You're pretty much like 6, 6, and 6, or 7, 7, and 7, right? Love them, hate them,
whatever,
and then everybody in the middle. But when you got 6 or 7 guys in there that like really can't wait for you to get fired, that's sending a message to those 5 or 6 guys. That comment or the lack of
something will happen. Hang in there.
We're reassessing them, right? And it's like you got 5 or 6 guys going like, boys, let's just Lindy's done here. We'll just continue to do our own thing. I've seen it. I've heard it. I've listened to guys.
I do believe.
I can't wait for this guy to get fired.
I do believe that you gotta just.
It didn't help him. That's all I'm saying. Is it didn't help Lindy.
Yeah.
No. Hearing that from Jarmo.
No, that's fair.
Seth Jones.
Good on.
Yeah, I'm good.
Changes?
Yeah, I'm good.
Seth Jones. Yeah. I tweeted my take on this. Kip, you and I haven't given each other our takes yet.
Yeah.
I thought is an elbow to the chops, man. I thought it was at least worth a hearing, if not a suspension. It's fully extended elbow.
It wasn't the meat of the contact. It got him. It hit him.
It's an elbow to the head that knocks
I know
it
is, but it's also an elbow to the chest and the shoulder too. And his head didn't. It wasn't a pick. It wasn't his head snapping back.
No, but so it's not blindside, but it's just so clearly an elbow to me.
Yeah. Did he not even a 2-minute elbow penalty?
And Hagel left the game and didn't return. So there is injury.
So let me go down the checklist here.
I'm okay. I'm okay with a non-suspension.
Let me go to the checklist.
Yeah.
Targeted towards the head.
No.
See,
no.
he's not
0.
giving you that.
0. I'm not giving you that. Target, chest, shoulder, elbow.
History between the two teams.
Okay. I'll give you that.
But not Seth Jones' history, is there?
I mean,
okay.
They've been going after this guy for 4 straight games. Every time they play against each other, they're trying to kill him.
Good. Fun. to watch.
I'm just saying, it's preferential treatment.
It's just
How do you not get a fine for that?
I
He
just
comes
don't
to
see
the-
how,
he comes
I don't
to
see
the
how you
neutral zone.
really
That's
believe
going to
the
make
league.
you feel better.
Yes.
A
Yes.
fine.
Anything to acknowledge that the fact that one of the star players in the league, a guy who's going to represent Canada at the Olympics, who has had history with that team, gets elbowed in the face, knocked out of a game, and they just, that's fine. Bobby
So
McMahon
let's-
does that. He's gone 3 games.
So let's work this
No
back.
question.
Let's work this back. So then your implication is that George Peros
Mhm.
doesn't want to suspend Seth Jones
Mhm.
because he likes Florida.
And
Yeah.
he wants him to beat your
he-
Toronto Maple Leafs.
So your,
Yeah.
your logic is Peros is a giant Panthers fan.
I just think that
It's just dumb logic.
I just think that there's something to the fact that, like, there's multiple things that have happened where they just don't even, they look the other way. Like, how is that a look the other way situation? That's the
Kip's
exact.
sitting in here and he doesn't think it's a
Well, of course
suspension.
not,
No.
because he's Mr. League. Mr. League Kypreos
I'm
over
not
there.
a league
yeah, you
guy.
know, I was like, oh, it's perfect hit. Leads with his elbow, kicks out
I
his
mean,
knee, just what we want in the
his
league.
Head, his head didn't
Hey.
snap back not one bit.
Because he's not a big faker. He's not a big crybaby. Like, so if he goes
like you.
Yes.
Like you.
If he goes flying back and flies on the ice and it's a penalty, he elbowed him in the chin.
No.
There's prior history. He kicks out his knee.
What
it's
I
a
don't like-
dirty
Yes,
play.
I'll give you a 2-minute elbow
give him
penalty
a-
if it would shut you up.
Give him a hearing. How does he not get a fine?
I do feel like he's worried about getting beat by Hagel and like extending to get a piece, and that's
Thank you.
dangerous.
Thank
but,
you.
know.
Thank you.
Well, that's not
How about
justification.
Rantanen now?
Oh,
Oh,
that's-
my Rantanen's
here we go.
Oh,
what
yeah.
a dirty
Mr.
player,
League
man.
moving past the league stuff here. They give
But-
the Panthers preferential treatment.
I
There's
think-
no denying it.
Rantanen,
There's
that
no denying.
There's no denying it.
Anyway,
Corey Perry. Did you watch a little of that?
I did watch it. Mikko Rantanen, just this guy couldn't get more unlucky with these whoopsies, eh?
But yeah, I love him.
Yeah.
I love him.
I think he caught
Okay.
Scott Mayfield's skates on that
Yeah.
one, didn't he, on the way in? I think
Yeah.
that's what happened. He
Hey,
clicked a skate
my-
on the way into that
yeah.
oopsie.
You know,
Third one in 6 weeks where he's hurt
fine.
someone.
Did you get a hearing? Probably not. Doesn't play with the Leafs. He's fine.
Oh my God.
He's out of the league if he plays for the
just
Leafs
play.
and does that.
I got a suggestion. Just play deeper in your net, goalies.
He said the crease. Rantanen's a criminal.
No. Just
Play on. All good. Sam Bennett did that to Stolars in the
Rantanen's
playoffs.
new Bennett.
Changed
Oh,
the
he's
whole
new
playoffs.
Bennett.
All good.
He's new
Doesn't matter.
Bennett.
good battle in front of the net.
Whoever shot it off Kemper, that's ice cold. Someone banked it off him while he's
Hopefully he's fine.
napping.
Yeah.
Shake it off.
Hey, Rantanen officially, let's get this guy on reputation watch. That's 3 in like 6 weeks.
But he's going into MVP territory right now. That Rantanen.
He's going to be Patrick Coletta while he's winning MVP.
Hey, and he turned down the Leafs, Sammy.
Kipper said, somebody texted in and says, Kipper needs to join Prison Paul's team. Paul Maurice.
Oh.
Yeah. Mr. Panther.
Hey, so what do you think you should have got? A game?
Yes, or a fine. An acknowledgement that you're not allowed to do that to a star player. But it's okay because he played for the Panthers. Well, no, but now
we had a guy
here's what'll
attempt to
happen.
hit.
Here's what'll
Shouldn't
happen.
we pat him on the back these days?
Here's what will happen. And here's what's the worst part that's going to happen. I don't know when they play next, but Tampa guy, they'll send out a guy. He'll do something dirty, and that guy will get suspended, just like happened in the preseason.
I just can't.
Oh, I don't wanna
can't
watch
connect
that.
The why the Leaf likes Florida. People are like, Gregory Campbell's there. It's like, what are you talking about? I think the league makes decisions based on that. Everyone's got ties to someone. For a while.
Sure about that.
All right. Once again, solve nothing on our show,
Yeah, we saw something.
especially that hit.
Preferential treatment.
Our thanks
For sure.
to Chicago's Ben Cope, who talked Blackhawks, of
Oh, Ben
course.
who?
Ben Pope.
Yeah.
What did I say?
Kopu.
No. Pope.
Let's end this.
And Valley.
Thanks, everyone.
Have a great night, everybody.